Why in the morning, family? We are back with another segment of Entrepreneurship Tuesday, and special thanks to Yinthemorning for that amazing interview in the spirit of celebrating filmmakers in the country right about now. It's time to introduce a special guest. He does a special thing. This is the first thing I'm hearing about this, but before I introduce him, 22162 is the SMS line. Start with YM254. Don't forget to leave your name and where you're watching us from, because that's the only way we can give you a shout out, and I take so much pleasure in doing that. The Y254 channel is on Twitter, Y254 underscore channel on Instagram, and Y254 on Facebook. You can hit me up directly at It's Barimo kwa kila mtandao wa kijamii. And yes, it's about that time that I introduce Isaac Muigai. He'll tell me if it is related to the president, but he's the CEO and founder of Yinthemorning Ratings, a CSR rating company. Karibu sana.
Thank you, Barry. I really appreciate. I really want to appreciate this opportunity to be on Y254, and it's really an honor to be here. This is actually one of my first interview to do.
But this is something very interesting that you're doing, and it's a very important aspect in organizations from parastatals to private businesses. And I hope parastatals have called you as well, but you'll tell me about that. So Yinthemorning Ratings.
Yes.
Take me back. When did it start and what is it all about?
So Yinthemorning Ratings is it's a rating agency, just from the word. It's a rating agency that does organizational health check, and well, from the word human, you can hear the word human. This is an aspect of human. The word human, we always have a problem with people spelling out the name Yinthemorning. So Yinthemorning, it's a Latin word that means humanity. And well, what we do is a lot of ratings, and we do a lot of research in organizations basing on the on different components in terms of governance, in terms of leadership, and this organization and what we do actually was motivated by the growing concern of the rapid changes and the fundamental changes that we're experiencing today in the world, including the automation, including technological. We are living in the fourth industrial revolution.
Yes,
so these are part of the motivation.
So many jobs have been taken by machines.
Really?
Over time.
Exactly.
And we keep on seeing that happening. Only the lawyers are defending their industry. I saw they're fighting so much. Artificial intelligence thing. All right. So what's your background in education first?
So I'm actually graduating in United States International University this coming Saturday with a bachelor's of international relations and a minor in psychology. Yes.
Major in international relations and minor in psychology. So there's nothing you understand like humans.
You see, humans, you relate with them every day, and if you are cautious enough, you learn a lot from the people you live around with. So the only thing that you need to be is be observant and be a good listener, and you'll understand the people who live around you.
Be observant and be a good listener. All right. So CSR. Rating. All right. When previously I thought CSR is the responsibility. First info, what is that info? You can share it with the people.
So CSR, to make it clear, CSR is not as projects as people tend to think it is. It's not only project. CSR, it's in full, it's corporate social responsibility. These are the basic practices within an organization that make it healthy. So on a larger perspective is the projects that organizations do as part of maybe if they have a lot of profits and they decide now we need to channel these profits to help the community. That's what we call CSR in terms of in a bigger spectrum.
In a bigger spectrum.
Yeah, sure.
But it also involves how the organization is run from within.
Yeah, the functionalities within an organization, including the governance, including leadership, including communication between departments. Yeah, sure.
All right. So when you say you guys you do ratings,
right?
So how does this work? Is it on a scale of 1 to 10? And what do you go in there looking for to rate?
So what we do is that once you go in within an organization, depending on the specification an organization will give us, is that and maybe they've told us that we need to look at how healthy this organization is in terms of governance. So we go in, and then now we do a lot of research, scientific research, because one of our values is we do scientifically proven research and techniques. We use those techniques. So we go within an organization and try to establish really what is the situation of governance within this organization, and then on a scale of maybe 1 to 10, we really have different kind of rating mechanisms. We have the bars, we have the graphs. So it really depends with what an organization will ask for.
Oh, so statistics is also very important.
It is
in
really
this
important.
particular aspect.
It is.
All right, an ideal organization. How do you think an ideal organization should operate according to what you go in looking for?
So actually, I wouldn't say what an ideal organization will look like, but I will just give you a rough idea of the situation that we're living in, so that you can understand the situation that we are actually in, so that we can now predict. You see, from a point of research, you cannot assume anything. You see, once you're going within an organization, there are a lot of possibilities that you might find. There are very many possibilities, and one thing that you're supposed to put in mind is that you're not supposed to assume anything. You're not supposed to assume anything in order to get results. So what we do is that the situations that we are living in right now is that technology has really affected the workforce. Right now we have around 10 million youths. That was the last research that was done. And we have one of the highest numbers of internet users in Africa, 30 million internet penetration in Africa. And what internet has done, internet is a double-edged sword. Yeah, it is. It can cut on one side and it can cut on the other side. So what internet has done, it has really changed the values that we're living in. We're finding a lot of people right now, like you, Barry. Have you ever asked yourself, why is it so easy to trust a stranger, an Uber stranger, than a guy you know, a taxi guy you know? Have you ever asked yourself that kind of a question?
It crosses my mind.
It has never crossed your mind. But that is the situation that right now we are living in. We're in a situation that right now we have distributed trust out there. People are trusting social media day and day. People are really, the workforce, the way people perceive things, the way people understand systems. So that is actually the situation that organizations are at right now. I was reading the papers the other day, and they were saying we have 800,000 graduates each and every year. And what the professionals in organization are saying is that these people, they do not have the skill set. But really we need to interrogate the situation. Is it really that this organization are not tweaking themselves to how the situation is changing, to how the times are changing? Because the world is changing really fast, and the workforce is changing really fast, because we are in an era of speed. I mean, we have always been saying that millennials are these people that who like microwave generation. But I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest, Barry. I mean, if I told you to use a map. If I told you to use a map, zile za 1900
and give me Google Maps,
and give you Google Maps, which one will you choose?
I'll choose the Google Maps. Obviously, exactly. It's going to tell me turn left after 5 meters.
Exactly, Barry. So actually, this generation has been caught up in it's like a culture shock. Everybody has been caught up, and actually, you know, in long time we are used to maybe inventions that are done after generations. But this one is happening so fast. It has moved so fast.
We find people who lived in the previous era, and living in this era as well. And when the previous era was coming to an end, they were maybe little babies in primary school, so they saw both the ages. And yes, the transition is so fast. I agree.
And that is the situation that our companies are facing right now. And we cannot say what an ideal company will look like, but we can tell the situation that they will be in future. Because right now they are struggling to look for workforce, and these are the next people. If we have 10 million youths, and you keep saying they're the lazy ones, at the end of it all, you in that situation, you'll need to employ them. Yeah, you'll need them in your organization. And some of them actually, we've had them for losing, maybe saying that we've heard about this story saying that youths leave their jobs after every 2 years. After they don't stay for more than 2 years in one organization. That's actually a proven research that not more than 2 years. 2 years and then they're done, they go to another organization.
All right, what do you think is the reason for all this moving?
So
And some of them move to start their own businesses, and some move to other organizations. What is it? They're not satisfied with what they get there, or is what is that to blame?
There are a lot of factors in this situation, Barry, and one of them is that, the environment that we have put our youth into. Because Barry, I can tell you for a fact is that you have family, and the good book says that you leave your family and go to, you leave your home and go and live to. And go and live with, is it a wife or something?
Yes, wife or somebody special.
Something like that. But for me, I normally tweak it and say that you leave your family and go to work. Because 90% of your time will be in work. Actually, even you don't have a lot of time with yourself. You don't have a lot of time with your family, Barry. So this is our family. This is our next family. We actually will spend more than 60 years working. Because this is the environment that we'll be living in for the rest of our lives. After school is only for 20 years. I mean, nobody can study for more than 20 years.
And even if you study after 16 years, you'll study while working at the same time.
Exactly. So these environments that we are creating for these generations, with all these, technology is one of them. The fourth industrial revolution, which is now the technology, the waves that we are facing right now, it's just one of the random shifts that we are having right now, and that is really affecting the workforce. But really, are the organizations setting a good environment for these people to live in? Because some of them, we are calling them lazy. We are not teaching them how to be patient. No, because some of these people, they have lost, they know how to just sweep to Tinder. We don't even know how to date nowadays. You'll only swipe right on Tinder, and then you boom.
Or meet somebody on Facebook, or double tap on Instagram and slide into the DM.
You double tap, exactly. So these organizations are not teaching these young ones how to practice patience. The organizations are not practicing are not teaching them how to communicate, because some of them don't know how to express themselves. They only know how to go to the media and now express their concerns there, and act tough on social media and put a lot of quotes from Socrates and Plato and stuff like that.
And big fights on WhatsApp because they're afraid to.
Exactly. And when we meet them one-on-one, they are different people. The self-esteem is so low. That's why they will seek solace from these media platforms. Because the organizations, they are not training
so
them.
We agree there's a change. There's a generational change. There's a change in the age that we're living in. We're living in the information age now. So is it the role of the organization to train these people, or is it the role of the schools that they came from?
I mean, they left school. Every person has a role to play here, and one is that I'll keep using the example of a family, because I believe an organization is a bigger unit of people who believe in one thing. Like I believe KBC is a family of people who believe in one thing.
And so we have one goal.
And you have one goal. So this is a family in itself. So one, they say that. Is it that the role that you okay, I've forgotten about that, but really are the leaders that they want to play a major role in this transformation that you're facing right now? Because I mean, some of us may never understand what you're facing. Some of the youth, if you tell them about they never know even that they're facing depression, most of them, because 10 out of in 10 people you'll find 2 people are depressed, but they never know about that. They think depressed people or people who are mad, they're those people on the streets, but actually we are one stage to madness. So
it's a mental stage.
It's a mental stage. It's a mental stage. So I feel like the leaders in every aspect of our lives, they're the ones to play a bigger role. They're the ones to help us, because most of us, we just look at what these leaders will do and then we follow suit.
So your leader at home is your parents,
exactly.
are your parents.
Exactly.
Your leader at school are your teachers, and maybe your principal. Your leaders at work are your bosses and everything. So your leaders play a huge role in integrating you into whatever situation that you're in. All right, perfect. Not so many organizations know or figure that they need such diagnostics, and they brush it off. how do you make them know that they need this for themselves? And I bet you work with human resource departments.
Yeah, we work a lot with human resource departments. Yeah, we work a lot with human resource department. But this is a situation that we need to create a conversation about this, like we are doing right now, because some of these organizations really to understand by themselves. You see, once you realize something by yourself, it's very easy to diagnose the situation, rather than keeping convincing a person that you have this problem, and you need this diagnosis. No. You need to realize by yourself. You need to realize that actually that we might be facing this kind of a challenge, and we actually need to diagnose, and we actually need to make the necessary changes. So part of it is that we create conversations through this kind of media interviews, because we really need the message to go there, because a lot of youths are really struggling. Yeah, they're really struggling.
All right.
Yeah.
Another matter that always comes up when it comes to human resource and such kind of things is office romance, probably. Yes. And what's your take on this?
On office romance?
Yes. And how have you ever interacted with this in your day-to-day rating processes?
I cannot say much about that, because I've never had an experience, and I've never had an encounter with such an experience. So nothing to say much about that.
Nothing to say much about office romance. But is it right or wrong, maybe?
In office romance, I believe somehow, see, anything that compromises the work situation, anything that might compromise your work situation, really, you see, emotion is a very strong component in our lives. And you see, once
humans are emotional beings.
Exactly, we are emotional beings, and once intimacy is involved in work, you see, you'll not be logical enough. You'll not be able to think rationally. So I feel like somehow emotions, you need to really know how to handle your emotions. You don't need to put away emotions. I'm not advocating you to put away emotions, but I'm really saying that you need to know how to handle your emotions. Yes.
That is what differentiates a professional from any other person.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
Perfect. So humanum.
Whatever way you say.
Whichever way I say. Humanum ratings. All right.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time I'm meeting somebody who does something like this.
Sure.
Have you interacted with other people who do such a thing?
In the best of my knowledge, I've not seen any organization deal with the same thing. And I have to say that I really appreciate the support of one of my professors, who is one of the key advisors, Professor Scott Bellows, who is actually so conversant with this area of organizational health checks. He's the one actually who helps me in terms of thinking through ideas and doing some of this training to organization. He has done it for quite a while. So to the best of my knowledge, there is no organization that really does it, but something close to that is maybe like ISO, is it called ISO?
Yeah, ISO certification.
ISO certification. So what we do is we do not certify any organization. We only rate organization. And you see, in rating, you might do maybe quarterly in an year. You see, it's something that is random. And what ISO certification does is compliance, because we do not measure in compliance. We go beyond compliance.
Right, they give you the rules to follow, the rules and regulations to follow. You need to comply to them, and then they come to check if you comply to them. But you come in to diagnose
situations.
Or to diagnose situations.
Yes.
All right. So I'm curious, how does this work? Say I have an organization, Barry Limited. I have 100 employees, and I need your services. Do you come in and blend in and be like a detective in between the employees, or how does this work?
So Barry, we employ different techniques according to the organizational structure. So to some organization, we might employ observation, as you've said it, which is
observation is key.
Yeah, observation is key. To some instances, it's not something that takes maybe 1 day or 2 days.
So
it's a process, because what we believe in as our value is we give timely results, and we make sure that we have integrity in whatever we are giving. Is that one of them is observation, and we could also use questionnaires in aspects where we will need to interview people, we'll need to talk to people and hear their opinion about some certain kind of situation. So basically that is it. And Yeah, those are the main things that we deal with. Yeah.
Observation and questionnaires, just regular ways of getting data for statistics.
Yeah, but depending on the situation, we might employ other techniques. Yeah,
depending on the situation.
Depending on
if it's a special situation.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So if somebody would need some services from Yinthemorning,
right?
Yinthemorning ratings.
Yeah.
How can they get a hold of you guys? Your camera is number 4.
All right. So if you want to get hold of us, you can visit our website www.yinthemorning, and you could go to the contacts. When from the contacts, you could actually give a call. You could also send an email to info@yinthemorning.com, and then the message will get home.
The message will get home.
Yeah.
All right. One last thing I'd like you to share with the viewers.
Right.
What is the importance of what Yinthemorning does?
The importance
for anybody with an organization right there.
Yeah.
Just try to break it down for them. If they get to get Yinthemorning to do diagnostics for them and the operations and everything, what is it that they're going to get out of all this process? If it takes a week, if it takes a month, what is it that they're going to get out of this process? And you think people need it out there?
All right, to every organization out there, I would want to say clearly is that there's no good way to be. You don't need to practice how to be good. There's only a human way to be, and this only human way to be is just to embrace yourself and to just blossom, just like a flower blossoms. So the major thing that you'll get out of this is that we'll impact the next generation of leaders. We'll not just be talking about now that we are saying that you are the next generation and you need to do this blah blah blah. It's an obligation. All of us need to take part too.
All right.
Yeah.
Another thing is parastatals.
Yes.
In the country,
right.
People complain so much about parastatals,
right,
and how they operate and how they run. Have you ever worked with any one of them?
We've worked with parastatals before, and just because of the clause that we normally sign, I'll not disclose any, because of the information that we do handle is a little bit personal, and we realize that a lot of parastatals are facing a lot of problems in terms of communication. So, and really communication is a really big problem, because some of us are just behind the screens. We're just operating our laptops. You don't know the impact of what we are doing. Of what you're doing to other to the people and to the customers. Yes.
Thank you very much for coming through to Yinthemorning.
Right,
One last time, give them your website so they can interact or get info on Yinthemorning.
So our website is www.yinthemorning.com, and our email is info@yinthemorning.com.
Thank you very much, Isaac.
Right.
Yes, we had Isaac Muigai, and he's the CEO and founder of Yinthemorning Ratings. And if you'd like to know more about this, or if you'd like to get more info about this, visit that website, Yinthemorning.ratings. Yinthemorning Ratings.
www.yinthemorning.com. Right.
All right, perfect. Hilda Wathithi is coming up next with another interview for Entrepreneurship Tuesday, so don't touch that down.